I was gonna open up this video with some metaphor or story relating to Hades, but I just want to say that this game rocks. I'm confident in saying that Hades is one of my new favorite games ever, which is weird since I'm not that big into Greek mythology, I'm very new to roguelike games, and I've never played a Supergiant developed game until this one, despite hearing how amazing their track record is as a studio of games like Bastion and Transistor. But how did Hades get this large amount of critical acclaim from everyone playing it, including me? Well, let me attempt to answer this question for myself in this video essay, review, analysis, critique, whatever the hell we're calling these things, I don't know. In Hades, you play as Zagreus, the prince of the underworld, who's trying to escape the underworld to get away from his naughty father Hades. But escaping the underworld is no easy task, even with the powers of the Olympian gods, so Zagreus will be dying over and over again until he makes it to Mount Olympus. This is honestly a brilliant setup for a story and a genre of video games where you have to restart from the beginning anytime you get a game over. And to add on to the story, there's many dialogue exchanges between Zagreus and the various characters during and in between escapes. They're even all expertly voice acted, with Zagreus being my personal favorite character and performance of the cast.
Greetings, Father. My ransacking was a delight, thank you for asking. So I'll just be on my way again.
He's wonderfully charismatic and snarky, with some legitimate moments of pathos in certain scenes.
Your father sent me. All in all, I'd rather be on your bad side than his. Now you can turn back, like a good little man, or I can send you home the painful way.
I'll have to go with the painful way.
I unfortunately can't talk about how accurately the Greek characters are depicted because most of my knowledge of Greek myths comes from the funny Nintendo game about the angel, but on their own I find them wonderfully quirky, with my favorite being the old surfer dude Poseidon, and phew, these characters are attractive, shall we say. You know what else is attractive? Aphrodite. I mean the graphics. Hades is presented at a top-down angle, with its graphics being comprised of 3D models that have a painted look to them, along with beautifully drawn portraits used when characters are talking. The artist did a great job telling you the core traits of these characters just through the character design alone. Along with a bright color palette to the characters and environments, Hades is one of the most visually appealing games I have ever seen. This further fuels the argument that developers should be more concerned with art style than how much console power the game is using. To quickly go over the music, it mixes Mediterranean instruments, rock and roll, and a touch of spooky sounds to create a musical style distinct to Hades, yet sounds good. Piss off, Hades from Kid Icarus Uprising, we're not doing storylines in these kinds of reviews. Hades is a roguelite, a genre of video game that gives you one attempt to finish a huge level, and if you die, you're sent back to the beginning to try again, with your knowledge and some upgrades to back you up. Every Hades run begins with you choosing a weapon, each with their own benefits and functions. You start off with a basic sword, but you unlock more weapons like a spear, shield, bow, and a frickin' machine gun as you attempt more runs. Once your weapon is chosen, you have to escape from 4 areas, each of them ending in a boss fight. I will say that not every weapon will click with everyone, since I hate the bow, but I have a friend who uses the bow as their main weapon. I guarantee you'll at least find 2 weapons that click with you, which for me are the spear and the gun. How a video game feels is hard to describe, so forgive me if I sound a bit vague, but Zagreus controls so fluidly. One of my favorite moves of his to use is the dash, especially when you upgrade it to add bonus dashes and deal damage. During your escapes, you can get many items that'll make you stronger, like the randomly appearing boons from the gods that'll enhance your attacks, though those go away when you finish your run, or health upgrades to help you take more hits. At first, you'll fail runs a lot, whether it be because you're not strong enough, your RNG won't give you the boons you're best with, or you aren't familiar with the mechanics and patterns of the enemies. But the more and more you do runs, the more rooms you'll finish, and the faster you'll become in completing those rooms. This is normal for roguelike games. What makes Hades so addicting, unique, and prevents it from becoming repetitive quickly is the fun gameplay that lends itself to many different playstyles, thanks to the variety of upgrades, items, boons, and weapons, which satisfies many different people, along with letting someone easily change up their playstyle if they get bored. The story is also a contributing factor to Hades' replayability. Every time you fail or complete a run, you're sent back to the underworld, where you can interact and give gifts to many different characters to learn more about them in the world. But that's not all, as once you complete your first run, the story is over as the plot thickens, and you'll have to do around 9 more runs to get the true ending of the game, encouraging further replayability. Not to mention, the bosses and gods you meet throughout your escapes will have different dialogue exchanges and even attack patterns / upgrades depending on how far you're into the story or how close your bond with them is, making it on-the-surface repetitive game into an ever-growing experience. I don't think many roguelites have done this before, and I wouldn't mind seeing more attempts to use your failures and triumphs to tell a story like Hades does. Sorry if I'm very vague on Hades' story elements, but I want you to discover them for yourself. I could go into detail and spoil everything for you, but that wouldn't be fun, would it? Hades is a phenomenal game that deserves all the success it's getting at the moment. Without even paying attention to my playtime till now, I've put over 15 hours into this game, which might seem like small stuff to those hardcore gamers out there, but for me, to put over 15 hours into a game within the first month I own it, especially in a genre I'm new to, is a massive sign of this game's wide appeal. It's the whole package of charismatic characters, wonderful visuals, and fun yet challenging gameplay. I'm hoping to look at Supergiant's other titles sometime soon, and I will definitely be replaying Hades, not just to unlock the secret ending, but because it's just a fun game to play. Now if you excuse me, I need to escape from my own underworld. Alright, we're almost there, guys. We're almost gonna escape the thingy. I have no idea where I'm escaping from. Oh god, it's a plushie from Kamen Rider Build. Let me just... Haha!